Hey everyone. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to play Quantum Pitfall. Quantum Pitfall is an offshoot of Pitfall, so if you don't already know how to play Pitfall, I'd highly recommend watching that tutorial video first and playing some games of Pitfall because this game is heavily based on Pitfall. So assuming you've done that, Quantum Pitfall, like Pitfall, has two teams, red and blue. Each team has a guide, so two people will volunteer to be guides at the beginning of the game. One slight difference between this game and Pitfall is that each guide will choose one of their teammates to be the designated clicker. So as you know, in regular Pitfall, anyone on their team can guess words, but in Quantum Pitfall, there's one player who is clicking on the words to guess them. Okay, so I am the red guide. I've designated bot 1 as the red clicker. Similarly, there's a blue guide and a blue clicker, and we are ready to start the game. So the setup is exactly the same. There are 25 words in the grid, and as the red guide, I'm trying to help my teammates find the red words, and if they find 9 of the red words, or if they find 9 red words, they win the game, and they have to do that before the blue team finds 8 blue words. Similarly, if anybody clicks on a word and it is black, that's the Pitfall word, and that team immediately loses and the other team wins. So the win conditions, all the specific numbers, all of that is the same. So what makes this Pitfall quantum? So the big difference is that no word starts with a color. Right now we're looking at the guide's view, and you can see that under each of these words there's a question mark, meaning the word does not have a color yet. Before I give clues as a guide, I get to place 4 colored tokens on any of the words in the grid, and when I place a colored token on a word, I make that word more likely to be that color. So more precisely, when I place a colored token on a word, let's just for example's sake, I'm going to place a red token on the word fruit. So the way I do that is I click this red box. So now you can think of it like I now have a red token in my hand and I will place it on the word fruit. Okay. And as soon as I do that, you can see under fruit, there's now a red square, meaning there's one red token on this word. You'll also notice that there's kind of, just to reinforce that, the word, a red card with the word fruit on it has been generated and put into my hand, just as a reminder that the word fruit is currently red. Now, what do I mean by currently red? When you place a token on a word, you are influencing the probability that the word will be that color when it is clicked. When somebody clicks on a word to guess it in Quantum Pitfall, you look at the tokens on that word. One of those tokens is chosen at random, and the word reveals itself to be the color of that token. So if all the tokens on a word are red, the word will definitely flip red. But if there are different colors of tokens on the word, one of them will be chosen at random, and that's the color the word will end up being. And so there's a probability distribution there, because if the word has 2 red tokens on it and 1 beige token on it, 2/3 of the time it will flip red and 1/3 of the time it will flip beige. So these tokens are influencing the probability that the word is that color. So on my turn, I will place 4 tokens, then I will give a clue, and then it'll pass to Team Blue. Team Blue will place 4 tokens, give a clue, and meanwhile the clickers are guessing words after talking to their teammates if there are more teammates. There are some constraints on the colors of tokens I can place. So I said I get to place 4 tokens. Technically, I get to place up to 4 tokens. I always have to place at least 1 token of my color. So I'm team red, so I have to place at least 1 red token every turn. I can place at most 1 black token every turn. So black tokens sort of create pitfall words in the grid. There could be multiple pitfall words because I could place a black token every turn on a different word. And now there's multiple landmines in the grid. And I can place at most n red tokens per turn, where n is the turn that I'm on. So if it's my first turn, I can place at most 1 red token. If it's my second turn, I can place at most 2 red tokens, 3 for turn 3, 4 for turn 4 and beyond, because I can place a maximum of 4 anyway. So I've just placed 1 red token. That's all the red tokens I can place this turn. So I'm going to place a beige token on telescope, and I'm going to place another beige token on foot. And I'll place, you'll see I have, anything I can click, that's what I can reasonably place. I'll place 1 more beige token on Quark. And now it is my team's turn to guess once I give them a clue. So I have now placed 4 tokens on the board. Under each word, I can see the tokens that are there. And now I'm going to give a clue. I have the word fruit here, so I'll give a clue for 1, and I'll say, I don't know, apple. All right. And of course, bot 1 is a bot, so they will probably click something totally random. Great. Cool. So this brings us to the rule around what happens when you click a word that doesn't have any tokens on it. So bot 1 just clicked crane, or what used to be, it used to be a different word, now it's crane. So if someone clicks on a word that doesn't have any tokens on it, that word explodes and is replaced with a new word because it doesn't have any probability distribution whatsoever. And you'll notice the same thing just happened with bot 3, who clicked on some word over here that just got replaced with the word dryer. Okay. So an interesting consequence of doing it with tokens is that some words will not have probability distributions, and so they collapse under observation, if you want to think about the lore of like quantum mechanics, and they'll get replaced with a new word. Perfect. So everything else is the same as in Pitfall, except for this whole twist with the probability distributions. The UI will probably change a little bit as time goes on to make it look more and more like the original Pitfall game. So right now, to give a clue, you have to click the number of your clue and then type it in. We're working on getting that to show up in the same screen as the grid, so you don't have to kind of look away from the grid when you're giving the clue. These cards in your hand are just meant to reinforce the likely color of the word. So if you have a card in your hand that's red, it's definitely red if someone were to click it. If it's beige, it's definitely beige if someone were to click it. If it's orange, it's a mix of colors, and it's kind of a toss-up as to what color it will reveal itself as when that word is clicked. If a word is purple in your hand, then it's red and blue. And so there's some helpful color coding there to just help you keep track of what words are most likely to go your way when somebody clicks them. Okay. Just to talk a little bit about the strategy. This is a very different game conceptually from Pitfall because you are the person deciding which words are your color. So you're not handed a group of words that you now have to come up with clues for. You can look at the word and say, quark and observatory go together, so I will turn those words red and then give a clue for them. Similarly, you have to think about what words your opponent may want to group together and then block them by placing beige or black tokens on those words. And then there are situations where a lot of words already have tokens on them. The words that are left over, there may be no words left over, and so you may have to start throwing your weight behind words that may not always flip your way. There may be 2 words that you really want to connect together, but they both have a beige token on them already. So what do? You might place 2 red tokens on one of them, 2 red tokens on the other, give a clue for the 2 words, and hope that the 2/3 probability works out in your favor for both of them. But there's some interesting middle game and end game possibilities, and once you consider where the tokens already are and what words you are stuck grouping together. So it's as much of a area control game as it is a pure Pitfall word game. You have to be quite smart about which words you choose to sort of throw your weight behind to group together to give these clues. If you are not a guide, then whenever a word is clicked, you will see all of its tokens under it once its color is revealed. And that might give you a clue as to where other tokens that you can't see are. Okay? So definitely a big brain kind of game, definitely one to attempt after you've played Pitfall, but people seem to be having a lot of fun with this one, and I hope you do too. Thanks so much.